now. Okay, over to you, Adrienne.
Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Year 13 Progression Live event. This particular one is for alternatives to university. My name is Adrienne Moffat. I'm one of the Year 13 lead tutors alongside Lorraine Gaylor. During the event today, there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions in the Q&A, and we will do our best to try and answer those, but there will be some that we might not be able to deal with within the session. If you are going to ask a question, please put your student ID number in the chat so it allows us the possibility to answer your questions. There may also be questions that are in our FAQ, frequently asked questions document, that I'll talk about shortly. So last week you would have been sent an email which had a variety of different tasks that you needed to complete as you didn't have a tutorial session. So those included completing your Keeping Safe module on Moodle, the My Progress 3 induction tasks, About Me, skills assessment and checklist. Now, although you might not be considering university, it's still really important that you complete the information for my tutor reference. Now, instead of your personal statement, you might be working on things like your apprenticeship research instead. Now, for these things, one of the questions that students sometimes have is, what should I be doing with this information? The answer is, keep a hold of it right now. When you are in your tutor group and you know who your tutor is, your tutor should be able to give you an indication about how they want you to submit that work, whether it's by email or through Google Classroom or Moodle. So in terms of key information in the meantime, I would direct you to the Moodle page. So you access this through My Day, Moodle, and then A-level tutorial. So this is where you would have done your Keeping Safe module, but there's lots and lots of other great stuff here. One of them is it has the Year 13 live events information where you can access the links to this. This particular PowerPoint, for example, has lots of hyperlinks, and that will take you to those bits of information. So this should be quite familiar to the majority of you. So some key things that are on the Moodle page include key information and dates. So you've got the year plan, so you know when there will be half terms, what you should be doing in tutorial, etc. And then we've got our frequently asked questions sheet there as well. So this should help you significantly whilst you're not currently having a tutor to ask questions to. So as I said, the Year 13 live event information will all be on Moodle as well. Student union information is also there. Please do think about whether you'd like to be a student union rep and let your tutor know as soon as you're assigned a tutor group. The training to be a rep is on the 29th of September, so this all needs to be sorted out next week. So another key thing is the enrichment information will have key information about the Freshers Online Fair that's taking place between the 14th and 25th of September. So the Get Ahead News is something that you should have some familiarity with. It's an excellent resource created by the wonderful careers team. It's published fortnightly and it's got great information about enrichment opportunities, UCAS information, internships, open days. I've had lots of tutees myself that have benefited greatly from being involved in different things that are advertised in the Get Ahead News. So you can access this through the Careers Moodle page. The first one is already there. Also, they're often sent out by email and continue to do so. Something new this year and pretty fantastic is Careers have their own YouTube channel. So if you click on the link and subscribe, then that means that you will be able to keep up to date with all of the information that Careers are sending. For those of you that are going through alternatives to university, these sorts of things are particularly important. So some key events that you are asked to pass on to your parent or carers are on this particular slide. The ones probably most relevant to you all is the one at the bottom. So Year 13 online applying for apprenticeship. So that's taking place on the 30th of September and the link for joining is on this PowerPoint, which you can access through Moodle. So lastly, I've made lots of reference to tutors and tutor groups, which is probably a key question in terms of who is your tutor and when is your tutorial. So this information is still being updated at the moment and should be final on Thursday, the 17th of September. So on Thursday, you should be able to go on to EBS where you've already done enrolment information. And on there, you'll be able to access your timetable and it will tell you when your tutorial is and who your tutor is. So group tutorials will start from Monday next week. Thank you. That's me finished. Okay, so over to you.
Okay.
Janet, do you want to put your desktop up? Share your desktop.
Okay. Okay. Second. Okay.
Okay, it's gone live.
All right, thank you. All right, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Janet Willoughby and I'm one of the Careers and Higher Education Advisors here. I'm sure you're all pretty familiar with the Careers Service now that you're in Year 13. So today's talk, as the title suggests, is all about alternatives to Year 13. So let's crack on. All right, so a warm welcome to everybody. It's been tough. It's been a tough 5 months, but just a warm welcome back as we try and get things back to some level of normality. Okay, so just to give you a quick refresher as to the team. So there's all of us there, happy and smiley. So there's Joe, Head of Careers, there's Ben, myself, and there's Jan. Okay, so the aims of today's session really is we're going to be focusing on all the alternative pathways and just getting you to think about how you can go about researching into online opportunities. We're going to be discussing apprenticeships, gap year options, art foundations, and really, you know, showing you about how you can access the career service and get ahead news. And we're going to be looking at case study as well. Okay, so firstly, let's just quickly recap again on apprenticeships. So obviously there are a range of pathways depending on the learning levels that you're at. But obviously for a lot of you, you're kind of looking at degree apprenticeships, which is the equivalent to a degree. Okay, so this is just a screenshot here from UCAS, which pretty much says that, you know, year on year, over 80,000 students are now telling them that they're interested in degree apprenticeships. So it is literally on the increase in terms of interest in this area. Okay, so again, so we know that it's real jobs and a skilled occupation. You get a job at the end of it and there's no tuition fees attached to it. It can last anything between 18 months to 4 years. There's a hell of a lot of training involved in it. It's quite intensive. So really for anyone that is interested in degree apprenticeship options, it's not an easy pathway. You really have to put the work in, as well as balancing that between your study time as also the working time element as well. But you will gain an industry standard qualification. Okay, so let's just quickly go through some of the myths that people think about apprenticeships. It's for people that don't do well at school, don't earn much, it's only for school leavers, and they miss out on all that social aspect that uni can give them. So let's just quickly demystify some of these myths. So obviously employers are aware that the social aspect is diminished in some levels, but they are trying to create a cohesive workforce. So you'll find that many employers really do try their hardest to kind of coordinate social activities and incentivizations, such as season ticket loans and gym memberships and things like that. And they try and buddy you up with other apprentices on the job as well. So obviously degree apprenticeships is the same as with any other kind of degree level. So they want 3 good A levels or a BTEC level 3, and the standardization, they want maths and English GCSE grade 4 and above also. And again, it's literally for all ages. So it's not necessarily just for young people. Apprenticeships are for all ages, and earning potential for a degree apprentice could be anything up to £24,000. Okay, so just another little screenshot here, just in light of the whole COVID-19, as we know that Richie has been funding quite a lot of furloughed staff as well as Eat Out to help out, but also he did announce a cash injection into kind of further promoting apprenticeships. So that was his pledge to young people. Okay, so there's a range of different pathways that apprenticeships can offer. I'm not going to go into them all. So it's anything from finance to creativity or agriculture. Okay, so I thought I'd give you some screenshots here just to give you some ideas as to what sorts of apprenticeships are out there. So obviously you're in year 13 and obviously there's a lot to think about as well as your A levels and getting back on track. And obviously you've got UCAS to think about as well. But what you'll find with apprenticeships, they tend to follow the same sort of timelines as UCAS. So you'll start to see that the application window will start to open from now. So what we're really encouraging you is to start really sniffing around and looking at all these opportunities now. So this is from the website Not Going to University, a really, really good, useful resource packed with lots of information. So this is a screenshot from a huge organisation, IBM. And this screenshot clearly says register your interest. So you can see employers are now really clearly trying to invite students to now register and express an interest. The beauty of that is that obviously you will then automatically gain access to their mailing list. So you want to be first to know what's going on. So it's really, really important that you start registering interest. Okay, so again, following on from the IBM, I just wanted to alert you to the sorts of opportunities they're offering. So they've got like digital and technology solution degree apprenticeships. And at the moment, it's currently linked to the University of Exeter and Manchester Met University. So it just gives you an idea of how they link and work alongside universities. Santander is also another very popular provider of apprenticeship opportunities as well. So it's worth checking them out as well. Wanted to draw your attention to the kind of standard entry requirements for a lot of these apprenticeships. So they want you to have your maths and English GCSE. They're also using the same language as UCAS. So they're asking for a minimum of 104 UCAS points, which is like the equivalent to a BCC. Okay, alongside that, they want really, really good, strong, robust employability skills. So they're looking for people that have a curiosity to work, genuine interest in emerging trends, and really having the confidence. So really, these are all employability skills alongside your A-level qualifications. Another organisation, EY, Ernst & Young. And again, there's a screenshot here in terms of their website, inviting students to sign up again to find out about any alerts that they may have and opportunities, because EY are very good because they host quite a lot of insight days and work experience opportunities as well as degree apprenticeships. So again, this was taken off just the other day. So their degree apprenticeship window is now open. And the following pathways they have at the moment are degree apprenticeships in digital technology and leadership and management practice. So they're the ones that they're offering at the moment. Okay, so if you pay attention here to the entry requirements, they make it clear that they operate an open access policy, meaning that they don't screen out applications on academic performance alone. So they're not just looking at the academic abilities, which is good. But they do require the GCSE grades 4 or above in English language and maths, and also 3 A levels as well. Okay, so they have a really, really useful user-friendly information resource section on their website, which really talks you through the kind of students they're looking for, the kind of capabilities that you need to have, the application processes, etc., etc. Really, really clear website. And again, if you look at the bottom here, I've put the applications can close as soon as numbers are filled. I think it's really, really important that you're aware of that, because the nature of apprenticeships is that the pattern tends to be first come, first served. The quotas fill up quite quickly. And so it's not something you should ever really sit and wait and think, oh, maybe I'll apply another time. If you see something that you're interested in, apply for it as soon as you can, because once they reach their quota, it's closed. So sometimes an application may still be present online, but it's actually closed. They don't actually need any more people. So please, year 13s, if you are interested in any degree apprenticeships, please, have a look at it, book an appointment to speak to careers, and we can actually help you complete that process. But don't just sit on it, apply for it, even if it's just for the practice of getting used to applying for degree apprenticeships. Okay, so White Hat is another amazing digital apprenticeship organisation, and they offer a wide plethora of opportunities. So check out White Hat. One of our recent leavers has just secured a Google apprenticeship via this process. So they do some amazing opportunities there. Again, ITV apprenticeship program has just launched. They've just gone live. They've got some really amazing opportunities as we speak. So I just did a screenshot to show you. So they've got like technical assistant apprenticeships to support analyst apprenticeship opportunities. And there's loads more. I just literally just showed you a little screen grab of a few of them that they've got at the moment. Okay, so all of these things point to how ready you are for the job market. It's really important that you really hone in on your skills and you're able to transfer them into the world of work. So let's just remind ourselves, this is from a report from the Institute of Student Employers survey, where they asked what employers are actually looking for. So as you can see, it's things like resilience, leadership, commercial awareness, which is pretty much having an awareness of the sector and a keen interest in it. Having that emotional intelligence, being able to read situations quite well with a level of maturity, time management and good solid presentation skills. They're the kinds of things that employers are looking for. And for those of you that go on to university, working in the career service at university, we also talk about the terminology we call graduate attributes, which are very similar. So it's literally about making sure that you're ready upon departure. Okay, so this is a little screen grab from the Institute of Student Employers, which basically looked at how the whole process is now working in terms of recruitment and selection for graduates. But we're going to cast our eye very briefly on the apprenticeship percentages. So as you can see, a high proportion use quite a lot of assessment centres where you come in for the whole day, and there's lots of vigorous training, one-to-one interviews, there might be a group activity, etc., etc. Quite a huge proportion, still do the CV screening as the first point of contact, also video interviews, phone interviews. So it really depends on the employer, but you'll find that there is a process that they follow in order to recruit and select. And also just to kind of hone in on the sorts of activities that are used in assessment centres. So a higher proportion still rely on individual interviews, because I think that really gets at the core essence of what kind of candidates they're looking for. Obviously, in light of COVID-19, obviously a lot of the interviews may well be online now as well. So that's just a little snapshot of what they're looking for. Most recent report, which was actually developed within COVID-19 actually by the Institute of Student Employers, where they kind of now try to look at and measure what sorts of proportion of face-to-face and remote recruitment activity will be planned from autumn onwards. So you can see in grey, it's all the stuff that will be done remotely. So you can see a huge proportion will be done in terms of employer talks and workshops will be done remotely. Pretty much how it is in the sixth form now in terms of planning and scheduling a lot of our workshops, as well as the interviews, as I alluded to earlier. But the good news is that things like work experience, if you look at in blue, work experience is still hugely anticipated to be done face to face. So that really does show you that employers really are actively trying to strive to have that real-time experience face to face with young people. So that's good. Okay, so Bianca Clementino, just move on. She's an ex-student, Candy ex-student, and we're just going to literally have a little flavour of her apprenticeship journey. So she had applied to become a data analyst with Deloitte, and these are just a little synopsis as the sorts of things that she was attracted to. So there was £1,000 interest-free loan, 25 days holiday and a pension. She got corporate discounts, etc., etc. So these are the kinds of things that were in the job description that she could see she would be getting. So very, very quickly, so she had an application form online. She had a job simulation digital interview. So from January to April, this was all happening. Then in June, she had some sort of assessment centre. There were 3 candidates and there was a group task and a brief, and they all had to work together. And then there was a one-to-one partner interview in June. And thankfully, she got the job. So let's just hear from Bianca. She very kindly sent us a video clip of her. This was actually taken whilst in the midst of lockdown as well, but she kind of shares with us her experiences.
Hi everyone, so a little bit about my apprenticeship. It started off as a 2-year apprenticeship, and then at the end of the first year, my employee gave me the option of doing a 3rd year, which meant that at the end of the 3rd year, I would finish it with a bachelor's degree in data analytics. And if I did pass my degree, I'll be able to keep my job. It's an opportunity that as soon as they offered it to me, I accepted it, because I do know that a lot of people, when they finish university, they are not able to get a job straight away. And that is not a position that I want to be in. So I just took it as soon as they gave it to me. About the COVID situation, my firm has not furloughed anyone, which means that we are still working the same hours and we are still getting paid the same. They did offer to some people, well, they did offer to everyone to reduce their working hours. Some people took it, some didn't. I did not, because I am still able to do the 8 hours and I wanted to keep my pay. We don't have the physical interactions with our colleagues and our clients. However, Teams and Google Meet and Zoom is there to make up for that. We are still able to have our team socials. We have a lot of pub quizzes, and sometimes we just have a 30-minute catch up to see how everyone is doing. So COVID, it's a very unfortunate situation. However, I think our firm has been able to handle it quite well. I would say if you do have the opportunity to do a degree apprenticeship, it's something that I would recommend to everyone, because from my personal experience, it has worked out quite well. I have been able to be quite independent because of the quite well-paid job, and I have gained a lot of knowledge from industry experts, and I have gained a lot of technical skills and soft skills, which if you do get those, if you think that you don't want to stay in the firm that you start off with, you can go to another firm and be confident that you have the pack that they are looking for.
Thank you, Bianca. So she talks really eloquently about the transferable skills that she's actually gained from working and how she's balancing and working really well at home.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so here's a little synopsis of, in terms of how you can actually seek vacancies, which I know I will get back to in a minute. We have some links further on, so let's just move on for a sec. Right. So another thing to draw your attention to, this is actually in the Get Ahead newsletter, which has just been launched. So there's a university and apprenticeship virtual fair on the 4th of November between 12 and 6. It sounds really, really useful. So obviously it kind of covers both corners in terms of university and apprenticeship opportunities. So I would definitely suggest that you take a look at that. Okay, it's in Get Ahead News, the latest edition, for the links for that. Like I said just before, so we have some useful links. You'll all get a copy of this presentation anyway, so please don't worry. Just literally signpost you to all apprenticeship opportunities, as well as just reminding you about Get Ahead News, and as alluded to earlier, our careers YouTube channel, and there's also a link at the bottom there as well. Okay, so just touching on apprentices. So Jamil, who is pictured to the second from the left-hand side in this picture, there he is. He's an ex-student and he's recently secured a degree apprenticeship with KPMG. And he actually was sitting there on a panel for Rate My Apprenticeships Awards ceremony. And in the middle, you've got here Tim Campbell, who was the actual very, very first winner of the BBC The Apprentice. So we're fielding some really, really great students who are going on to amazing opportunities within the apprenticeship field. And here he is here, kindly sharing some top tips about the application process for degree apprenticeships.
So I think the top tip I have is knowing what sector you want to go into and then researching all the companies in that sector. When you know what you want to do and you have that kind of destination and plan, then you can kind of plan it in advance and work towards that. So researching the companies, knowing what you want to do, what qualifications you want to get, and then taking your application seriously. I say one of the most important things is applying early. A lot of students left it late and the deadlines have already closed. So applying around September, October, and keeping an eye out for applications.
Thank you, Jamel. So again, the importance of understanding the timeline. So we're in a good timeline now, aren't we, in September? So now's the time to start looking, really. Okay. Okay, so here's another one. So this is Mo, and he's a people manager within the Lloyds banking groups, and he again is sharing his top tips. It's also got one of our ex-students, Francisco, ex-student from Candy, also sharing on this video as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Mo. I'm an apprenticeship rep within Lloyds Banking Group. And just to talk to you briefly about Lloyds Banking Group. It is the largest UK digital bank. It has over 30 million customers, over 65,000 colleagues. Now, a number of you might be thinking, banks are just about numbers and money. Partly. Who deals with the online banking? What about the advert with the black horse on TV? Cybersecurity, who manages that? Don't forget our customers. There are a lot of opportunities and things to do within Lloyds, no matter your area of interest. 3 main pathways you need to be thinking about. If you love people, building relationships and dealing with customers, financial services is the first route. If you're analytical and love technology, the digital and technology pathway is the one for you. And last but not least, if you're a creative thinker, you love tackling complex problems and developing new ideas, our professional services route is for you. As the largest UK digital bank, no matter your interest, we believe that there's always a place you can contribute with. Finally, if you want to be part of something just bigger than a job, Lloyds Banking Group's purpose is helping Britain prosper. What does that mean? That means we're trying to prosper and help the economy and the communities prosper along that. That is the culture we are building. Now I'd like to hand over to one of our apprentices, Francisco.
Hey everyone, I'm Francisco, and I'm a former student at City and Islington Sixth Form College. I'm here to quickly talk to you about my apprenticeship at Lloyds Banking Group. Now, as you've heard from all, Lloyds Banking Group offers a wide variety of different, exciting apprenticeship opportunities, and one of them is group internal audit. As an apprentice, I've been able to get the support I need in order to develop myself in many different ways, able to receive personalised development objectives and support, helping me progress in my career. LBG gives you all the fundamental tools, allowing you to fulfil your potential. Working at LBG is great. You are constantly supported, you meet different people, it's a very diverse workforce, and it's the perfect opportunity for you to start your career. So, what are you waiting for? If you're a practical and willing learner, come check out our website and see if an apprenticeship suits you.
Thank you. Amazing talks there.
Hello everyone, my name is...
Okay, so we've got another top tip here from Daniel, a people coordinator, and this is more in a more creative field. So for those of you creatives, Mullen Lowe is like a PR and advertising company. So let's just hear what his top tips are.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm the people coordinator here at Mullen Lowe, and 3 top tips for applying for apprenticeships. I'd say first one is get LinkedIn, because that's very useful. I got that and helped me get the job here, but any sort of government website or Creative Equals is really, really helpful. Lots of secondly, dress code. Always ask for dress code, because I think that helped me get the job here. Because everyone else turned up in like uniforms and suits and stuff, and I came in my smart casual attire, which is what we're here. So always ask that. And finally, stay bubbly, stay passionate, make sure you come across like happy, driven in all interviews, because that will definitely, it'll take you far in your career.
Thank you, Daniel. So really the importance of being yourself, and also the importance of actually signing up to LinkedIn, which I would definitely recommend for you guys now that you're year 13. Okay, so let's move on. So as promised, we're going to touch upon gap year. So for some of you, you actually want to embark on a journey of self-discovery, to have that break. So we're just going to look at very briefly some of the pros and cons. So obviously for some students, it is about having the ability to stop and reflect and think about what it is you want to do moving forward, having that kind of personal development opportunity to reevaluate what's important. And for some, it's about kind of work experience, getting some sort of work in under their belt, or volunteering or traveling. Now, obviously, we're aware in light of COVID-19, it's really important to kind of check out these things in terms of how far you can actually travel in light of the situation at the present. For some, it's about saving money for their journey to university in order to kind of return to learning refreshed and focused. For many people, it can actually lead to a job opportunity. So sometimes that kind of gap here can actually by default create pathways that you never knew would exist. However, for some people, it's about you might lose that study habit. And you have to be very mindful that the concept of being meaningful and that year can go really, really quickly. So just be mindful that the opportunities are meaningful at the same time. And I've kind of put my ongoing joke here is that you could actually get caught up watching too much Netflix. If you're anything like me, that definitely would be me in a year. So just be very mindful of how you use that gap. So in terms of things that you could do, obviously volunteering, maybe working abroad, some sort of internship, activities, things like that. Obviously, depending on the sort of sector you're interested, whether it's animals or community projects or humanitarian projects or sporting projects or working with young people. So I've just linked in some key information here for you to check out. So there's some key links that you may want to explore regarding gap years. And I think the final one that I've put on is that I think it's really important that you check government guidelines regarding coronavirus, just so that you're clear as to where you could travel if that's what you're thinking about doing. Really important. Okay, another possibility for many students is exploring the Art Foundation pathway for creative people that maybe want to kind of hone in on particular specialist skills. They may want to explore fashion pathways, textiles, fine art, or graphic communication, or three-dimensional design, or architecture. And it gives those students that opportunity to develop and build a portfolio of work. So for some students, if they are kind of toying between going in to do a 3-year degree or an art foundation, they actually apply for both and see what comes up, really. So for some students that are really not sure about which way to go, it's worth your while applying directly for an art foundation, which is 1 year, and we can support you with that application and help you complete that. So that's another option that many of our students also want to consider as well. Again, there's some useful links regarding Art Foundation information. Again, you'll get a copy of this. I think it'll be posted on Moodle anyway. Okay, so here's just a screenshot of the employers that we work with. We're really well connected in the careers team. And I think I just want to kind of end on kind of like some top tips. Really important that you check out your emails and read Get Ahead News, especially this month's edition is absolutely packed with information on virtual work experiences and opportunities that you can actually access online. We now have a new streamlined system for you to book an appointment, and that link actually works. So you can actually click to book for an online appointment with the careers team. Really important to be open-minded and flexible around your plans, and just be really clear about covering all corners, really. So we really encourage you from the careers team that you still apply for UCAS, irrespective of whether or not you decide to wholeheartedly want to do an apprenticeship or a gap year or an art foundation. Really important that you still apply for UCAS. Really important that you research, tailor each application, whether it's your UCAS personal statement or an application for a degree apprenticeship or any other type of job, or for an art foundation or any other type of speculative application. It's really important that you tailor it. And the key thing is apply. Don't overthink things. It's really important that you throw yourself into different opportunities, because you just never know what it might lead to. And just remember that we're all here to support you here in the careers team. Okay, so that's the end of this session on exploring alternative pathways to university. So I'd just like to wish you a great day and many thanks for your time. And we do have some time left over for some questions, which you'll find in the comments box. So if you want to leave any comments or questions, please feel free to. But please make sure that you put in your student ID number alongside your question. Thank you.
Back to you, Adrienne.
I can't see any questions at the moment, so
Okay.
I think that would bring it to a close.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your hard work, careers team, Janet and Jan. Amazing.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, shall I end it now?
Yeah. Yep.
Please.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.